Hey, this video is all about tips for .NET developers in Visual Studio. Now, we have hours of glorious full-length videos on Visual Studio on YouTube and Channel 9, but this is going to be a short video trying to do a whirlwind tour, for people with, maybe, like myself, with short What is wrong with this table? Let's get to it! First off, I want to show you Quick Launch. That's Control-Q. It takes you to the search box in the top right corner of your editor. Here I'll search for key bindings. We've recently added Visual Studio Code as well as ReSharper. Next, I want to show you Control-T navigation. You can easily search for files, symbols, members, or types. We've also added recent files. You can use the drop-down to see previews of what files you can open. Speaking of navigation, you can find all references using Shift F12. You can use Control F12 for Go to Implementation, and you can always navigate backwards using Control-. You can peek definition with Alt F12, and you can also use Control-Click to go into implementation. I use that all the time. So I'm going to debug this test using Control-R, Control-T. And my exception helper lets me know that I'm getting a null reference exception. So I want to go ahead and add a null check. I can do that using Control-Dot, which opens the screwdriver code fix icon in the left margin. And when I add it to my if statement here, you can see that some of my parentheses are getting grayed out. That's a prompt to remove unnecessary parentheses using Control-Dot. I can also use Control-Dot to invert my if-else statement. Just one of those nice refactorings to have. You can also add a parameter from a call site. So here I'm adding a double to my text housekeeping method, and use Control-Dot to add it to the method signature. I'll go ahead and give it a default value, and I can even use an interpolated string to incorporate it into my method. One of those handy-dandy C# features. I'm super excited about multi-caret. That's Shift-Alt-Click. And you can type in multiple places within your editor. You can also insert the next matching caret using Shift-Alt-Dot. So here I can select all of the matching places within my editor and alter the text I find there. Scrolling down, we also have a code fix that moves a type to a file. You can use Control-Dot to access that. It's also easy to generate a constructor using Control-Dot on the selected line. With any selection, you can also use Control-D to duplicate it. This is super useful because it doesn't copy over what you already have in your clipboard. We've also made a ton of improvements to the Test Explorer. You can see I can navigate by project, namespace, and class in a hierarchy. And when I run these, you can see that our test runs are also more responsive. So tests that are currently executing get a progress ring, and tests that are pending to execute get a clock icon. The Test Explorer in general is also more responsive. You can see I have about 5,000 tests in it right now. If I went ahead and unloaded a large test project, you can see it automatically updates. Now, if I reloaded that, it can actually rediscover those 5,000 tests in a matter of seconds. Now, in certain places, I'm using some pretty inconsistent code style. Odd white space, using variable or explicit type randomly. I can manage all of my code style in Tools Options. Here I can set what preferences I like, This is the var versus explicit type preference, and I can even set the severity of that code style violation. And I can apply all of these code styles with Ctrl-KD or Format All in one simple command. Thanks for watching!